They wiped galaxies, but Earth made them cry. Not scream, not beg, cry. These monsters burned 1,000 worlds. They erased suns from the sky and laughed while doing it. But when they landed here, when they stepped onto our soil, they didn't fight. They froze. They trembled. And in the rain, they broke. Why? What is it about Earth that turned galaxy killers into weeping little boys? That's the secret they never wanted you to know. Welcome to Predator Protocol. I'm the voice behind the madness, the chaos, the untold human fury. And today, I'll be telling you a story they tried to bury across the stars. A story made just for you. The man who likes his sci-fi with flirting, firepower, and a bit of filth. Let's begin. Because Earth wasn't built to survive. It was built to punish. They landed at midnight, when the skies over Earth were dark, wet, and angry. The Zorak Legion had wiped out 11 planets that week. One more, and they'd go home heroes. Earth was supposed to be easy. No shield, no army, no space defense. But as their drop pods pierced through the clouds, one by one, the Zorak warriors began to feel it. Something strange. Something wrong. Commander Grax stood tall when he hit the ground. His armor hissed steam in the cold rain. Sensors flickered, power levels dropped. But he wasn't afraid, not yet. Behind him, his elite troops landed hard, shaking the pavement of a small city street. Everything was silent, except the rain. Drip, drip, drip. A silver helmet turned slowly. The alien inside whispered, "Why is this water stinging?" Another groaned, dropping to one knee. "My circuits. They're locking up," Grax barked. "Stand tall, cowards. It's just moisture." But even as he said it, his fingers twitched. His tongue felt heavy, his vision blurred. Then he heard it. Laughter, soft, human, a woman. He looked up through the rain. There she was, standing in the doorway of a coffee shop. Tight black jeans, tank top clinging to curves that would crash starships, and a smirk that knew too much. She sipped her drink, tilted her head, and said, "You boys look a little wet." One Zorak soldier short-circuited on the spot. Another collapsed, eyes wide. Grax's chest tightened. Rain, laughter, heat. It didn't make sense. He stepped forward, raising his plasma rifle, but slipped. Flat on his back, like a joke, like a clown. The girl walked over, crouched beside him, her lips inches from his helmet. "Your gun's big," she whispered. "But can you handle Earth?" Then she kissed his helmet and walked away. The Zorak Legion was shook. Inside the bar across the street, more humans watched with lazy amusement. One guy toasted a beer. Another woman winked and mouthed, "Cute aliens." "Commander," a voice crackled through Grax's comms. "Our systems are failing, emotions rising. Pheromones are static, moan." He tore off his helmet. Big mistake. The air hit him like a drug. Thick, dirty, delicious. Smells of hot grease, cheap perfume, and something he couldn't name. Something female. His knees buckled. He fell again. An Earth police cruiser pulled up. 2 women stepped out. Black boots, black leather, long legs, longer looks. One said, "You boys invading, or just out past curfew?" The other spun her cuffs around her finger and smirked. "Should we frisk them?" Grax tried to speak. Only drool came out. His second-in-command, Zor, crawled forward. "Sir, we must leave. This planet, it's cursed." "No," Grax growled. "It's worse than cursed." He looked around, at the humans dancing in the street, the girls taking selfies with stunned aliens, the music pumping from a car window, and the heat in his chest that wouldn't go away. This planet is... He didn't finish the sentence, because of them. At that moment, one of his soldiers screamed, a deep, guttural, galaxy-shaking scream. Not from pain, not from fear, from heartbreak. "I asked her number," the soldier cried, "and she said I wasn't even her top 5. The Legion stared in horror. One of the strongest warriors, rejected by a 22-year-old human with pink headphones. Another soldier began sobbing. Her smile, it changed me. Panic broke out. Grax turned back toward the ship, but it was already lifting off. "Command!" he yelled. "We need reinforcements. Earth is..." Static, then silence. Alone. Drenched. Emotionally compromised. Surrounded by horny, sarcastic humans. And in the alley behind him, someone whispered, "Let's see what that armor hides." Grax spun, eyes wide, but saw nothing, only steam rising, and lipstick on the wall. Rain kept falling, but now it felt personal. Commander Grax stood frozen, not from fear, but from something worse. Confusion, temptation, and a very strange tingling in his lower limbs. He scanned the area. Nothing made sense. Human females moved with dangerous curves, smiling like they already knew the ending. Their laughter, hypnotic. Their scent, chemical chaos. Grax shook his head. "Focus," he growled. "Find shelter. Regroup." He looked to his troops, at least the ones still standing. Zor was gripping a street lamp, whispering. She said, "I smell like burnt batteries," but she smiled when she said it. Another soldier just stared at his reflection in a shop window. "I don't even know who I am anymore." A holographic billboard lit up across the street. "Thirst Trap, Thursday, Ladies' Night." A human girl danced in the ad, winking at Grax. He blinked. The hologram licked her lips. His pulse spiked. Earth's environmental warfare was no longer a theory. This was real. This was war. And humans had mastered it. Grax pulled Zor by the shoulder. "Get up. We need data, maps, weaknesses." They stumbled into a small neon-lit diner. Everything smelled like grease and hormones. The waitress wore a red miniskirt and zero patience. She chewed gum with attitude, leaned on the counter, let her chest do most of the talking. "What'll it be, Chrome Daddy?" she said. "Coffee, pancakes, or just looking to get scrambled?" Grax blinked again. Scrambled. What was the double meaning there? He checked his translator. Even it glitched. "We require information," he said, trying to stay formal. "About Earth's defenses." She raised a brow. "Oh, honey, you're looking at him." She smacked her gum. "Right here." She pointed at her chest. 2 weapons, fully loaded. Safety's off. Zor let out a low whimper. Grax elbowed him. "Weapons-grade sarcasm," Grax whispered. "They use flirtation as a disarmament protocol." Just then, a TV in the corner flashed breaking news. Alien sightings reported across U.S. and Florida. Man offers them beer backyard BBQ. Grax felt a chill. This species wasn't just chaotic. They were insane. "How are they not extinct?" he muttered. The waitress leaned in again. "Well, sugar," she blew a kiss. "Maybe we're just too fun to kill." Zor's armor made a strange hissing sound. Grax pretended not to notice. He paid in alien credits. She laughed. "We take tips and kisses. Or Venmo." They left fast. Outside, the rain fell harder. But now, it felt warm. Like it was watching them. They passed a strip club with flickering lights. "Galaxy girls. We abduct hearts. Free drinks for aliens on Tuesdays." Zor slowed down. "Commander, maybe just 5 minutes of recon." "No," Grax snapped. "That's how they get you." In the alley behind them, someone giggled. They turned. No one, only a pink bra, hanging on a drone. Grax started to panic. Back at the drop zone, One of their ships exploded. No missiles. No weapons fire. It just combusted. Nearby, a group of girls with glittery jackets filmed TikToks. One of them waved. "You guys look great! We tagged you." Zor checked his datapad. They hacked our systems through a dance app. Then, static on the comms. And a deep voice. "Zorak Legion, this is command. Retreat. Earth is not on our charts for a reason. We lost 7 squads in the Midwest. 1 was seen on a mechanical bull. Repeat. Retreat." Grax gritted his teeth. "No, we stay. We learn. We adapt. We conquer." But deep inside, he wasn't sure. Something was coming. Something worse than flirting. Worse than rain. And it smelled like bubblegum and trouble. Then, a voice echoed from behind the dumpsters, low, feminine, and filled with heat. "Well, if you boys want to play with fire." A leg appeared first, then curves, then leather. "Why don't you come see how hot Earth really gets?" Grax froze, eyes wide, systems alert, heart rate unstable. She stepped fully out of the shadows. Tall, tight black leather from neck to toe, high heels that clicked like countdowns, and a smirk that said, "I eat aliens for breakfast." The rain stopped, but Grax's chest didn't. Zor's hands twitched on his blaster. Grax whispered, Don't make sudden moves." The woman walked slowly toward them, hips swaying like a pendulum set to danger. She circled them, eyes scanning every inch of their armor. "Nice suits," she purred. "But I like my men unwrapped." Zor made a sound. Could have been a laugh. Could have been a system failure. Grax straightened. "Who are you?" She stopped inches from his faceplate. Name tag? None. Rank? No need. Weapon? Probably her whole body. "I'm no one," she said. "Just a girl who likes watching tough guys cry." Grax felt heat rising again. Not from battle, from something worse. Earth's strange emotional warfare. His HUD blinked red, pulse too high, temperature spike. Warning, systems, aroused? "What do you want from us?" Grax asked. She smiled wider. "You came to conquer, didn't you?" Her voice dropped into a whisper. "Then why do you look like the ones being conquered?" She turned and walked toward the end of the alley. Looked over her shoulder. "Well?" she teased. "Coming? Or what?" Zor took a step. Grax stopped him. "This is a trap." Zor wiped sweat from his brow. "I'm willing to die for scientific progress." They followed. She led them to a narrow staircase behind an old nightclub. Music pulsed through the walls. Bass so heavy it felt like heartbeats. She opened a rusted door with a smooth kick. Lights flashed, smoke drifted, and inside was hell. Or maybe heaven. Depends on your weakness. The room pulsed with bodies. Human bodies. Dancing, laughing, grinding, sweating. Every shape, every skin, every curve. The Zorak soldiers stood in shock. What is this ritual?" Grax asked. "Earth's version of war," she whispered. "Only, we make you beg for surrender." Then she disappeared into the crowd. Zor wandered first. Then another soldier. Then another. Some were pulled onto the dance floor, others into dark corners. One sat in a booth being fed fries by 2 girls in crop tops. Grax stayed near the wall, watching, listening, sweating. A woman approached him. She was barefoot, hair tied in 2 playful knots. She leaned into his chest plate, whispering, "Want to dance, Tin Man?" "I don't dance," he said. She pressed a finger to his lips. "No one dances at first." Then, with a grin, "But everyone breaks eventually." Grax stared into her eyes and saw no fear, only curiosity and chaos. He stepped back. Too much. Too fast. He turned toward the door, but it slammed shut. Above it, A red sign blinked on. You can't escape Earth. Grax looked around. Every soldier he brought Basau was now lost in heat, touch, and emotion. The girl from the alley reappeared beside him. She whispered, "This planet doesn't fight with guns." Her lips brushed his ear. "We fight with feelings." Then, a scream. One of his troops fell to his knees on the dance floor, or tears streaming, helmet off, begging. "She ghosted me. She said she'd call." The humans around him just laughed. Someone tossed him a shot. Grax had seen many things. Planets explode. Empires collapse. Even a sun go dark. But this was true horror. The battlefield was pleasure. The weapon, affection. And the target, the alien soul. And right now, he was losing. His comms crackled. A voice from orbit. "Commander, status report." Grax could barely breathe. He stared at the woman beside him, who just mouthed, "Stay the night." He reached up, toggled his mic, said only one word. "Compromised." Grax stumbled into a velvet booth, everything spinning. He hadn't touched human alcohol, hadn't danced, hadn't even removed a single piece of armor. But he was sweating, breathing heavy, and questioning everything. Across from him sat a human woman. Red dress, one leg crossed over the other like a secret waiting to be told. Her nails tapped the table. Her eyes sparkled like danger. "You okay, shiny boy?" she asked. "Look like your circuits are overheating." "I don't overheat," Grax muttered. "I'm a commander, a killer of worlds." She leaned in. "And now you're stuck in a booth, with a girl who wants to know what buttons not to press." Grax flinched. "Is this a seduction protocol?" She raised an eyebrow. "No, baby. This is Earth 101. She slid him a small glass filled with something golden. Steam rose from it. He scanned it. Warning, unclassified liquid. Risk, unknown. He picked it up anyway. She smirked. Brave or stupid? He didn't answer. Just drank. His eyes widened. His chest burned. The sensation hit harder than a plasma strike. What is that?" he gasped. She licked her lips. "Whiskey. And why does it feel like war?" "Because," she whispered, "on Earth, even pleasure comes with pain." She stood, grabbed his hand. "Let's dance, Commander." "I told you," he protested. "I don't." But she already pulled him into the chaos of the dance floor. Beats dropped, lights flashed, bodies moved, and some, they were in the haze. Grax moved too. He didn't know how, didn't know why. But as her hips pressed into his grip on logic slipped. All around him, his troops were falling. Not dying. Worse, laughing, smiling, making TikToks. Zor stood shirtless in the VIP lounge, 2 women feeding him popcorn. Another soldier had his armor painted with lipstick hearts. Grax tried to send a signal to command. Error. System too hot. Emotion core activated. Status exposed. Suddenly, a hand grabbed his shoulder. He turned fast, instinct sharp, but stopped. It was her, the leather-clad mystery from the alley. Now even closer, even more dangerous. "You look good, Commander," she said. Looser, softer. She placed a finger on his chest plate. "You know, I've always had a thing for bad boys, especially the ones who break down slow." "I'm not breaking," Grax said, jaw tight. She leaned in, whispered into his ear. "You keep telling yourself that." Then, she kissed his helmet and vanished again. Grax blinked. Something inside him sparked. Something human? No. Impossible. Suddenly, alarms rang out from his hip. His data core was being hacked from inside the building. "Zor! We're compromised, he yelled. No answer. Zor was now in a foam pit, laughing, with a neon bra on his head. Grax ran to the back of the club, a hallway, dark, wet floors. No signs, only lipstick marks smeared along the walls. He followed them. At the end, a door slightly open, red light spilling out, and the sound of moaning. He pushed the door open slowly. Inside, rows of alien tech, stolen weapons, and humans, tinkering, building, smiling. One of them turned, a woman in a leather vest and dirty boots. "Oh, hey," she said. "You're just in time. Your suit's next on the menu." "What is this place?" Grax asked. She grinned. "This is where Earth keeps its real defense systems." She walked, but closer, dragging her fingers across his armor. Not missiles, not guns. She leaned close. "Us." The woman circled Grax like a predator with a crush. Not in a rush, not afraid. Her fingers traced his chest plate as if reading him like a dirty magazine. "This armor," she said softly, "is tough." She leaned closer. "But I'm tougher." Grax stepped back. "I don't fear you." She smirked. "That's your first mistake." Behind her, human engineers kept working. Alien tech, alien gear, being repurposed, repackaged. One of them was soldering a plasma rifle to a blender. What are you doing?" Grax asked. The woman chuckled. "Earth doesn't follow your rules. We don't fight like you do. We improvise, we seduce, we remix." She tapped her temple. "Your tech is vulnerable, but your minds, even more so." Grax tried to activate his internal scanner. Warning. Internal firewalls breached, foreign data detected, file name, hertouch.exe. He shut his eyes, tried to center himself, tried to remember who he was. A soldier, a destroyer, feared across galaxies. But now, his thoughts were full of perfume and whispers. The woman stepped even closer, now eye level. "You look tense, Commander." She bit her lip. "Maybe you need release?" Grax clenched his jaw. "This is psychological warfare." She leaned into his helmet, lips nearly brushing it. "This is Earth. And baby, this is just foreplay." Suddenly, an explosion rocked the building. Grax stumbled backward. Lights flickered. Smoke poured from the hallway. "Was that one of your soldiers?" the woman asked casually. "Or did he just try the jalapeno margarita?" Before he could respond, a screen lit up on the wall. A live feed. Zor, still shirtless, now crowd surfing through a concert. Screaming, "I can feel love! I am reborn!" Grax looked away. This is worse than death. Another screen showed a different soldier dancing awkwardly on a stripper stage, dollar bills in his belt, mascara running, voice crack. "King." She said I had potential. The woman beside Grax laughed so hard she fell into him. He caught her, tried to ignore how soft she felt, tried to ignore the way her lips brushed his neck when she whispered, "You're next, shiny boy." "No," he said. "I won't fall." She pulled back, smile fading. "Oh, so you're the resistant type?" She stepped away, snapped her fingers. From the corner came two more women. One wore librarian glasses and a schoolgirl skirt. The other had oil-streaked arms and a blowtorch in one hand. The first one cooed, "You gonna teach us alien history?" The second winked, "Or let us melt that suit off." Grax backed up, heart thudding, sensors flaring. Error. Lust threshold exceeded. Initiate cold reboot. He spun toward the door, but it was gone. Just a wall now, covered in neon writing. No one leaves until they're broken. The women advanced, seducing, surrounding, smiling. Grax raised his gauntlet, aimed it at the ceiling, and fired. Boom! Debris fell. Smoke poured in. Screams echoed. He dove through the wreckage, armor cracking, sparks flying, ran into the hall, ran like hell, back into the club, back through the bodies, back into the rain, fell to his knees, gasps, rain soaking through his cracks, heat cooling off. One thought remained. Earth isn't a planet. It's a trap. And then, a hand touched his shoulder. Warm, gentle. He turned, expecting another tease, another flirt, another sexy human ambush. But it wasn't. It was a little girl, umbrella over her head, big curious eyes. "You okay, robot man?" Grax blinked, couldn't speak. She handed him a flower. "Mommy says aliens are just boys who got lost." Then she skipped away. Grax broke. One tear slid down his cheek. Not from pain, not from lust, but from something else. Something he hadn't felt in eons. Shame. And far above the clouds, his commander's voice rose. He turned. "Status?" Grax didn't answer. He was no longer sure who he was. Grax sat motionless in the rain, flower in one hand, trauma in both eyes. The war was over. Not officially, not tactically, but spiritually. He lost. Zor stumbled toward him, now wearing sunglasses, a bathrobe, and fuzzy pink slippers, one eye twitching, the other seduced into oblivion. "She said I was the one," Zor muttered. "Then she introduced me to 4 more. Grax didn't speak. There were no words left in his language for what he was feeling. From above, dropships began arriving, but they weren't enemy reinforcements. No, they were extraction teams. From the Zoric High Command. They had finally seen the truth. Earth was worse than a death world. A voice echoed in his comms. "We're pulling you out, Grax. You lasted longer than expected." He didn't respond. He stared at the flower. "They used kindness," he whispered. "They used touch. They used dessert." The extraction squad moved fast. Anti-human dampeners activated. Blades drawn, guns loaded. "Do not interact," the officer warned. "These beings are not biologically advanced, but emotionally lethal." Zor whimpered. "I left my hoodie at her place." Another soldier growled. "We don't go back for hoodies, soldier." The team made it to the ship, loaded the broken warriors in silence. Grax moved last. One boot still in the rain. He turned one last time, behind him, across the street. She stood there, leather jacket, wet hair, eyes that said everything. She smiled, but didn't wave. Just a slow, seductive wink, like she knew, like she always knew. And in that moment, Grax knew he wasn't escaping. Not really, because you don't escape Earth. You survive it, and you carry it, inside you, forever. He entered the ship, door sealed. Engines roared. As they rose above the clouds, the storm broke open below. Lighting flashed, thunder screamed, and far off, the holographic billboard, Fee, lickered one last message. "Thanks for visiting Earth. Next time, bring protection." Back in orbit, debriefing began. Zoric commanders demanded reports. "Explain what happened," the Admiral barked. "You're elite. You wiped out the Sulcran Empire in 3 hours. But Earth, you came back crying and covered in glitter." Grax sat silent, then slowly stood, walked to the center of the chamber, and said 3 words. They flirted first. Gasps. Alarms. Panic. One commander fainted. Another growled. "That violates 14 war protocols." A younger officer raised a hand. "But sir, what if Earthlings aren't weak? What if their power is just different?" Another muttered. "What if it's not their weapons, but their teasing that breaks us?" Grax turned slowly, eyes cold, voice soft. "They don't fight with fire. They fight with kisses and fries and eye contact." He placed the flower gently on the console. They don't win battles. They win hearts. Silence. Then the Admiral whispered, "Then Earth must be avoided forever." Grax nodded. No, not avoided. Feared. Suddenly, a siren screamed. Red lights flashed, an alert on every monitor. Warning, unknown transmission received. Origin, Earth. Type, visual. Message, miss you already. Attached was a photo. A human girl, pouting lips. One middle finger up, wearing Grax's alien helmet. The entire command room went silent. Zor, still in his slippers, mumbled, "I think I want to go back." Weeks passed, but Grax didn't speak. Not to his commanders, not to his squad, not even to Zor, who now attended weekly emotional recovery group chats, hosted by human girls over Zoom. Grax just sat in silence, alone, in his bunk, helmet polished, but eyes haunted. Each night he replayed it, the way her hips swayed as she disappeared into that crowd, the way she said, "Stay the night," and meant it. He didn't know what hurt more, the defeat or the desire to go back. Then one morning, a private message lit up his screen. "You left something behind." Attached, another picture. This time, she was holding his plasma rifle, wearing nothing but one of his shoulder plates and a wicked smile. Zor peeked over his shoulder, gasped, "Commander, I think your gun's fully loaded again." Grax slammed the console shut, but his hands were shaking. Outside, alarms rang through the ship. New orders, planetary recon, target, Earth. Status, avoid at all costs. Exception, 1, Commander Grax. The Council wanted him to return, to negotiate, to study Earth's emotional weapons. He stared out the window. Black space stretched endlessly, but somehow he missed the blue sky, the sounds, the rain, the lips. He stood, not a word, just moved. Back to the launch bay, armor sealed tight, pulse steady. Zor ran up beside him. "You're going back?" Grax turned, paused, then said, "I need my helmet." Zor frowned. "Is that a metaphor?" "Yes." The ship broke orbit, entered stealth mode, dropped into Earth's atmosphere like a falling regret. He landed at night, again, same city, same street. But this time, he didn't bring a weapon, just a mission. And maybe a wish. He walked through the alley, past the diner, past the club. All quiet now. No music. No lipstick on the walls. Just silence. And wet pavement. Then, a door creaked. And there she was. Same leather. Same cur. Vess. Same smile, but softer now. Slower. Still dangerous. "Didn't expect to see you again," she said. "You run out of planets to cry on?" Grax didn't blink. "I came for my helmet." She stepped forward, eyes teasing. "Oh, baby, you came for so much more than that." Then she held it out, his battle-scarred helmet, cleaned and polished. He took it, but her fingers didn't let go. "Next time," she whispered, "you should leave your heart too." Their eyes locked, one alien, one human, both broken, both burning. She stepped back. "I shouldn't have teased you so much," she said. He tilted his head. "No, you should have finished what you started." She laughed and pulled him inside. The door shut behind them. Somewhere outside, rain started falling again. Earth never forgives. Earth never forgets. And if you stay too long, Earth doesn't let you leave, because Earth doesn't fight fair. Earth makes you feel, and the most dangerous weapon in the galaxy wasn't a gun, or a bomb, or a virus. It was a woman with a smirk and zero emotional stability. The end.